last Wednesday?
I can tell you that after the training session, so we still have a session.
How's William Saliba then?
Pretty similar. He's not going to be involved tomorrow, and we'll have to wait till the next game to see where we are, but he hasn't improved this week at all.
No game this weekend, so was it maybe good extra days to digest the result and the performance? Because it was a big night, a tough night. Those extra days, have they helped the players, do you think?
I think so. Obviously, it took us a while to go over what happened at the Etihad, but we don't want to accept that. But you have to recognize that on the day when they took the game to a different level, we didn't reach that level, and they were better than us, and they deserve to win the game.
How do you see it now? Win every game, then we'll see what happens?
Win tomorrow. That's what we have to do. And within the disappointment and the spirit around it, two things. The first one, recognize what a lot of people has done at the club to get us back into the Champions League. It was already a difficult thing to achieve, and not a lot of people was very optimistic that we had the ability to do that at the start of the season. So first of all, recognize all the good work that a lot of people has done to achieve that. And the second thing, that is what I like the most, is that even achieving that with 6 games to go, something I don't think has happened in more than a decade at this club, we're still not satisfied, and we're still upset, and we want more. So we want to be the club that we want to be consistently with the best. That's the mentality that we need, and that's what I loved more the last few days.
You sound incredibly proud of them, because people usually just after the back of a defeat look at the players and you've lost this lead, you've lost this lead. You're looking at it another way. You're proud that you've got them this far. We're approaching May and you're in this position.
Yeah, because we have achieved what it was difficult to achieve, and we can still achieve the Premier League, because it's 5 games to go, and a lot of things are going to happen still. What we have to do is forget about what happened last week, learn from it, and move on into the next game with a full tilt at home with our people, London derby, and put things right.
247 nights top. What does that mean to you, or is what's important is where you are at the end of the season?
How many is 200?
247.
So tomorrow 248. This is what I want. Win tomorrow and be at the top.
It's been unfair, isn't it, with criticism, isn't it, when you get that? Like, is it something that happens in this country? They don't maybe look at how good Manchester City have been.
I don't think it's unfair. It's football. We are Arsenal Football Club. We have to be here to win every single trophy. This is the demands. The reality, what happened in the last 15 years, that's not the reality. But the demands have to be there. So the thing that I like the most, again, I repeat myself, great, we are in Champions League, and everybody is still unsatisfied with the situation. And this is what we need if we want to move forward as a club and as a team.
A couple of drop points before, then you went on a great run, those wins at Villa and Leicester. Is that what you look to now? This is what you need to do?
Yes, it's at the end, it's find a way to win, but our way to win is being consistent the whole season, is playing well, being better than the opponent, being dominant, and we have to do that tomorrow night to beat Chelsea.
Finally, later Arsenal women plays the Champions League,
Yeah.
a full house. Full house. I mean, when you signed your new contract, if you and Younes signed it together, just talk to me a little about that, how proud you are about that as a football club.
It shows the unity, it shows the, as well the way everything is evolving together, and the importance of women's football in this country, especially what the England national team do, what we are doing as a club, which as a club we may be much better than the men's football, to be fair, in many moments with all the trophies that they won. That's the reality. So incredibly proud of them to do that, and as well they fully deserve the credit that they are getting, and to play tonight into 60,000 people, it's something amazing.
Thanks, Mikel.
Thank you.
Jake?
Hi. Obviously, you sound still very focused on what you've got left to do in this season, but how do you then keep that to the players as well? Because obviously they were in the middle of the game on Wednesday night, and it's difficult to try and keep them grounded.
It is difficult, but in sport you have to accept the reality. And when a team is able to take the game to a different level, and you are not able to step to that, you have to recognize that there's still work to do. And don't get confused, and be very humble, recognize what our strengths are and what our weaknesses are, to be better. And the reality as well is that for 274 days, we've been with them, and tomorrow can be another day when we are still there, and it's 5 games to go. So it's a lot of things that we've done very well for 10 months, I think.
Did you need to raise the mood amongst the players, or is that still good?
It's not about the mood, it's keeping that fire in the belly for tomorrow.
And coming up to tomorrow then, what can you expect from Chelsea, a team who haven't really been at their best of late?
They're going to try to come to the Emirates to beat us. They have a great manager, exceptional players, very difficult to predict what they're going to do because they can play in various ways with different players and different qualities as well, and we're going to prepare the game to win it, that's it.
And just lastly then, does it then feel like the pressure maybe on you and Arsenal has changed maybe now after the game on Wednesday?
Now it's not in our hands, and what is in our hands is to win our games. That's what we're going to try to do, and the rest is down to City.
Thanks.
Ian?
Hi, Mikel. You say there it's not in your hands, which it isn't. Does that mean, in a way, with what you've achieved in terms of Champions League football, you're kind of settling for second place right now?
No. I already mentioned it, yeah.
Okay. In terms of that then, you're obviously hoping that City slip up somewhere along the way. What did you see last week that would give you hope that they have an Achilles heel?
How tough it is to win every single game. It's not something that I saw last week, it's what I see in 9 months. If not, they would have won every Premier League game, and they haven't.
When you look back on the last couple of weeks, how key do you think the injury to William Saliba has been?
I don't know. Very important player, but I don't know how to quantify. I don't know how to quantify that Gabriel Jesus has been out for 4 months, Eden Ketia for 3 months, Emile Smith-Rowe for 4.5 months, Kieran Tierney out for a few weeks, Tomei as well for 3.5 months, maybe now 6 months. This is football.
As has already been alluded to, Chelsea arrive tomorrow, not in a great place this season. They've had a season of turmoil, but clearly they'll be up for it because it's a London derby. How aware do you have to be that you can't take their recent form for,
We already spoke about it. It's going to be a very different game. It's a London derby. They have something to prove. We have something to prove. The atmosphere is going to be incredible to play in that stadium, and we're going to have to be at our best again.
And finally, off back of last Wednesday, if there's one thing you could go back and do differently, what would it be?
Win.
Mark?
Hi, Mikel. That first training session after the City game, were they straight back on it? Were you proud of the players' reaction, or did you and your coaching staff have to pick them up a little bit?
They didn't need much, you know. They knew the disappointment was across the club. I think everybody, our supporters, our people, our staff, our players. It was a big night, and we didn't produce the performance that we wanted, and we deserved to lose the game, and we have to move on. But I think it was a good reality check as well. In the way that they stepped up the level, we could not reach that level. But a reality check as well that you have stepped to that level for 10 months. So believe in what you do because you are so good as well.